The arena thundered with a feral energy. The crowd screams a chaotic symphony of cheers and jeers that echoed off the cold concrete walls. The championship ring stood under the searing glow of a dozen spotlights, a battlefield for two women whose destinies had become entangled in a dangerous obsession over you. You are always the center of all of this. Alexis, the Inferno, Vega and Bianca, the Blizzard Reiner, were more than the undefeated champions. Tonight they were just fighting for the title, or so they believed. But they were fighting for themselves and fighting for you. The spectators in the front row sat frozen, their presence the unspoken catalyst of the madness unfolding in front of them, leaving a permanent mark. The intensity radiating from the two women, their piercing gazes, the raw hunger in their expressions, it made it clear. This wasn't about fame or glory. This was about love, twisted and all-consuming. As the referee called them to the center of the ring, Alexis's dark eyes burned with an unholy fire. "This is for you," she whispered, her voice low but crackling with a rough and ragged emotion. Her gloves touched Bianca's with almost violent force. Bianca smirked, her ice blue eyes cold yet brimming with manic determination. "They'll see who truly deserves them," she hissed, her words slicing through the tension like a blade. "And my love, if you haven't figured it out yet, you are who they are talking about." "Oh, no one told you? No one made you aware?" The championship ring isn't the only thing that these ladies are bickering and squabbling and soon to be fighting each other for. A wager was made that the winner couldn't take home not only the ring, but the heart of the man that they both were obsessed with. These ladies have gotten into this ring with the understanding that you are going to be part of that prize package when they are finished, and they are determined to make sure that one of them comes out the victor, and the defeat must be crushing in the process. Think of the madness you've inspired in these ladies, how obsessed they are, how crazy they're willing to be, and the fact that all of that has culminated in this moment, here, under the blaring lights, under the screams of a crowd that wants nothing but bloodshed. You are the glue that binds all of this together. And just like that, the bell rings. Alexis lunged forward with ferocity, her southpaw stance allowing her to launch a blistering jab that grazes Bianca's guard. Bianca slipped to her right, with a dancer's grace, countering with a devastating hook that reverberated through Alexis's frame. The crowd roared, but the two women heard nothing except the pounding of their own hearts and the imagined whispers of you watching them. "You're mine," Alexis growled as she gritted her teeth. She pressed forward, punching and landing and pushing, all with great accuracy. A left cross staggered Bianca, sending her stumbling into the ropes, but Bianca's lips curled into a smile, blood smearing her teeth, and she steadied herself. "You think he'll choose you?" Bianca spat, darting in close and locking Alexis in a clench. Her breath hot against Alexis's ear, she whispered, "I'll make him forget you ever existed." These women are beside themselves. The referee breaks them apart, but the venom in their eyes remained. Bianca shifted to a defensive strategy, her footwork impeccable as she danced around Alexis, baiting her with feigns. When Alexis overcommitted, Bianca unleashed a lightning-fast 1-2 combination, the impact snapping Alexis's head back. Alexis didn't dare retreat. She surged forward, fueled by something a little more potent than pain, but a desire to prove her love to you. Both of these women knowing that you were sitting in the front row, your eyes fixed, and wanting to be your gladiator for the evening, wanting to fight for their one true love. By the third round, their bodies bore the brutal evidence of their devotion. Alexis's relentless inside fighting had battered Bianca's ribs, while Bianca's precision in strikes had left Alexis's left eye swollen nearly shut. The canvas of the ring now stained red from each of the women, each drop a testament to their shared madness, yet neither woman faltered. How could they? You were the prize. You were the reason they were doing all of this. And the rest of us had to sit and watch in horror and amazement at the power that you had over both of them. In their corners, the chaos continued. Trainers barked instructions, but neither fighter listened. Alexis's gaze darted to the front row where you were sitting, her muse, sitting there wide-eyed and paralyzed. "You're watching me," she muttered to herself. More and more, she could feel herself getting stronger and stronger. "I won't let you go." Across the ring, Bianca's lips curled into a smirk as her coach pressed an swell to her cheek. "When I win," she said, her voice dripping with malice, "I'll make sure you only have eyes for me," she says, her eyes darting across the ring to you in the front row. "If only you knew what you were in for when one of these ladies should win." The sixth round descended into a nightmare. Alexis drove forward, her punches savage and unrelenting. A left hook to the liver, a right uppercut to the rib cage, each strike landing a sickening thud, forcing Bianca to gasp for air. But Bianca was a storm, wild and unpredictable. She answered with a spinning back fist, an unorthodox move that sent Alexis crashing to the canvas. The crowd erupted, but the person in the front row, you, clutched your seat, unable to look away. Both of these women know you have love for them, but they both know that there can only be one. Look how far you've driven them. Alexis's vision blurred, the lights above swimming in her gaze, but as the referee counted, the thought of losing, of seeing Bianca claim victory to you, dragged her to her feet by the count of 8. Her legs wobbled, but her resolve was strong and ironclad. By the final round, the ring had become a crucible of fixation, neither woman wanting to leave without her grand prize. Every punch thrown by this point was desperate, every block a feral declaration of devotion. The referee hovered and was ready to stop the fight, but the women's sheer will kept them going and kept him at bay. They were fighting for more than the belt, and every time they looked over and saw you in the front row, it became more and more clear. They were fighting for the right to possess your heart. With 10 seconds left, Alexis unleashed a combination that seemed to defy human endurance. A jab, a cross, a left uppercut. Each strike drove Bianca further back until she collapsed into the ropes. Bianca wasn't done. Summoning the last reserve of her strength, she surged forward with a wild overhand right that connected with Alexis's temple just before the bell rang. Both fighters crumbled to the canvas, their bodies spent, their spirits broken. The crowd's roar became a low and dull hum as the judges tallied their scoreboards. The announcer's voice boomed through the arena. "And the winner is, by split decision." The victor's hand shot up, while the other fighter fell to her knees, tears streaming down her battered face. But even in defeat, her eyes only sought the one person that truly mattered. You, in the front row. Through her sadness, she pleaded with you desperately with her eyes, the eyes that weren't sewn shut from swelling. And the winner staggered forward, her face swollen but triumphant, almost a delirious smile. She points directly to you. "Baby, do you see?" she rasps. "This proves it. I'm the only one who loves you. I'm the only one who would go through all of this pain and all of this suffering just for you." The other lady crawled to the ropes, her trembling hands gripping the bottom strand. There was nothing she could do at this point. The die had been cast. "No," she whispered hoarsely, her voice barely audible to the crowd. "You're mine. You've always been mine." As the confetti rained down in the arena, its thundering applause, almost deafening, one thing became agonizingly clear. She could accept defeat. She could let her man walk out that door with a woman she knew truly didn't deserve him. Or she was going to have to make another way. The desire to have you, the obsession that burned so brightly inside of her. This match was nowhere near enough to extinguish the flame that you had lit. She turned to the ring, to that altar of devotion, to that place where she had been sacrificing and working and toiling and laboring for all of those months, and realized that she was not finished yet. Later that night, the weight of the loss would linger, and neither woman would sleep, mainly because she knew the other woman was coming for her. And in no way, shape, or form were you going to be the one who would have the say as to which woman was left standing. That would be for fate to decide.